Okay, I've got you. Ah! Go on. Yeah. God, this is going to be a pretty wild 5 days. Yes!
It's the morning of day 4 of the 555 challenge. After yesterday's success on the sea cliffs at Screaming Geo and Lewis, Dave and Tim stayed overnight in the Bothy. But there's little time to admire the view.
Yeah, we got up at 6:15 this morning. We've got to get out of here and get to the cliff and get up the climb and then get back to the boat by 3 o'clock and then go to St Kilda. If the wind drops off, because it's a bit windy at the moment. In fact, at the moment it's too windy to land in St Kilda, so we're not going to be able to go there until the wind drops off there.
Luckily, they're not heading out to St Kilda right now. But even if the weather improves, the boat's skipper, Murdo MacDonald, estimates that it'll still be a 7-hour crossing. That means they'll have to complete today's mission early. Leaving the Bothy behind, it's a car journey to their next destination, the tiny island of North Bernera, where they're hoping to put up a new route on an exposed sea cliff.
Off to climb number 4.
This island is connected to the mainland of Lewis by a causeway, which makes getting there easy. But, and it's a big but, the weather is against them.
Tell you what, mate, I reckon the waves are going to be pretty big on the bottom of that crag.
Or going over the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we can get to the start.
Today, Tim and Dave are not just up against the clock. The wind is howling and the waves beating against the cliffs. Even finding somewhere to abseil down and sort out a possible route is proving difficult.
What about belaying on that ledge?
Yeah, on the ledge. I think that's the only place we could go, really. So otherwise, in 2 hours' time, the waves are going to be going up.
Big time, yeah.
They've not climbed on these cliffs before, and they've still got to decide exactly which route they're going to attempt.
Can you see that there's a line from the top of the stance into a horizontal break that goes vertical crack? Like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, right, I'm with you.
So we could go like that.
We've done 3 routes, we've got 2 days left. It's absolutely critical that today we've got to do this route really fast and then we've got to get out of here so we can get the boat over to St Kilda and we've got to be there at 3 o'clock. So everything's happening really quickly this morning. There's a big sea running, the tide's coming in and we're really limited as to what we can do.
We're going to abseil down and just have a look and see how high the water's getting and see exactly where we would climb. And then really, if it looks okay and we think we can climb it, then we'll have to get down there and just try and do it as fast as possible and get out of there.
I feel a bit rushed. We've got to make some really fast decisions and they've got to be the right decisions, otherwise we're going to blow the challenge.
The bottom of the wall that we're climbing on, the waves are just splashing right up against it, and if it gets any higher and any windier, the waves are going to splash right up the whole route. It'll be quite a serious piece of climbing today. Like everything about the day just feels like you've got to be careful, concentrate, get down there, watch the waves, watch everyone's safety, and try and get the route done.
Oh, it's going to be hard. Yeah, no, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it'll definitely be hard.
Having inspected the cliff, they've chosen a one-pitch route which takes a spectacular line up an arête. Today, Dave will be first up the face.
There's a couple of things I'm worried about. One is that the lower wall below the arête is already quite wet. It's been splashed by the spray a lot, and so I'm going to have to climb it really carefully. Like, if I make a wrong move, I'll just slip out of it, like I did the other day on the chance. And the other thing I'm worried about is that it's really cold. I'm only just warm, standing in all my jackets with my gloves on. And so I think my hands will get really numb when I'm climbing.
I mean, we're wearing exactly what we'd wear in the winter when you go ice climbing on Ben Nevis when there's snow everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty chilly, isn't it?
And we're into June now at the sea
Yeah.
cliffs at sea level. Yeah.
Cold or not, if Dave and Tim are to complete the 555 challenge, they must now go for it.
When it's this windy and the waves are just like crashing in, It makes everything feel like so much bigger and so much more intimidating.
Cool, man, it looks great. It's a wee bit windy. Like, it looks like a bit of a cheeky start here to get to there, and then it looks really in cut, so you'll be fine. Hey, this looks fun, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's going to be quite entertaining for both of us, see?
Yes, indeed.
Totally surrounded by a raging ocean.
Dave MacLeod is one of the world's top all-round climbers. He's driven by a mixture of natural talent and a sophisticated training regime. Taken together, they've made him into an extraordinary athlete. But of course, he's also highly ambitious, and interviewer Edie Stark wanted to find out how far that ambition would drive him.
My goal in my climbing is to always be extending my limit to do harder and harder climbs, but always staying and getting closer to that limit. So you're right on it, but never stepping over it.
But who or what is really in control here? Because you are obsessive, aren't you? I mean, you won't give up.
Yeah.
So perhaps that obsession is the rock or the climb or whatever it is taking a hold of you.
They're completely separate strands. Like the issue of being bold, like being able to do a dangerous piece of climbing, and being obsessive about completing climbs. They're totally separate things. So when I'm on a climb, I'm totally ready to say, I'm not going to do this right now, or this is not right, I'm not ready for it. In fact, I do that every day of my climbing when I'm out trying these routes.
But you'll do it eventually.
But I'll do it eventually.
Is there anything that's
at the right moment
that's beaten you?
No, not so far. But the great thing about climbing, it's a lot easier than a lot of sports, really. And that, say you go to a football match and you blow it, you make a mistake, then that moment is over. You can't get it back. But the great thing about climbs is they're still there. You just go back and try them again.
Yeah.
So you never have to really fail. You just go back and try them. And that was one of the big appealing things for me, is that I'm not talented at sport, and it was really important motivator that I could fail, but it was still there, and I could get another chance to go back and try and see if I could figure out how to do it well.
Is that because you're stubborn?
Yes, I'm really, really stubborn.
And that stubbornness could come in very handy today on the sea cliffs of North Bernera. With conditions less than perfect and with the clock ticking, Climb 4 on day 4 gets underway.
I'm going to try and go as fast as I can here, because otherwise I'm going to freeze to death.
Have a good one, Dave.
Cheers, man.
It looks better further over. Yeah, nice. Good effort. Nice. How is it up there?
Yeah, it's cold and windy. Sort of lose the footholds here.
Yeah, sure. Go on, Dave.
Dave's been coming to the Outer Hebrides for many years and developed a real affection for these islands and their challenging routes. This wild weather deters many people from climbing here, but not Dave. The hardships are just part of the total experience.
My fingers are getting really numb already. My hands are really cold. Wild.
I've always felt from the first time that I came here that this is a really special place just to visit. And when I'm back home and I think about the Hebrides and future ideas to come here and climb,
Brilliant, man.
I think about the place in general as much as the actual climbing itself, and that's great. And then the reason I like it so much is just the powerful landscape that's here, and
was trying to understand why, because like as a climber, you know, a lot of people that climb will be impressed by really dramatic landscapes. Like the more dramatic the better. So really high mountains, big faces, and glaciers and ice and snow and all the things that mountains have.
Go on, Dave.
I realised that when I come here, it's the contrast in lots of different things that you maybe don't notice at first, but actually leave a really big impression on you.
How are your fingers?
Freezing! As far as like comparing it to other landscapes around the world, for me it's the most memorable. It's a place that I feel like I want to keep coming back to more than anything.
Nice one, Dave.
It's really wet around the other side. Bit of a better position here. Maybe have to get my strength back a wee bit. A lot of people ask me like why I don't climb more in different corners of the world, like the famous spots in the world that people go to, and when I am going to do that, and I just, there's two reasons. Like primarily, like the nature of the climbing in Scotland fits like my enjoyment from climbing perfectly. It has those elements of it feeling really wild and remote and stunningly visually beautiful, you know, and varied. You know, if you climb in Glencoe and then you go 10 miles up the road to Glen Nevis, everything about the landscape and the rock, and so the movement on the rock is really, really different.
Yeah, but the weather.
There's a practical way around the weather. If you work for yourself and you work and train in here on the rainy days and you go outside whenever it's dry, then there's plenty of dry days in the year to go climbing, so it's totally fine.
Another reasons that you stay in Scotland?
The other reason that I stay in Scotland is that I have this peculiar problem in that once I've seen a climb that I want to do, like in the flesh, or especially if I've actually gone on it and tried it, I can't get it out of my head. Like I have to keep going back and trying things. So like the places that I tend to go abroad, like I go a lot to Spain, and in the past I've gone a lot to France and climbed over there, but I've tended to go to a few places like 5 or 10 times, but not all the other places. So I don't go to everywhere once, and that's what Tim does. In fact, he wrote a book about climbing all over the world, and the very first thing it said practically is that the rule that they set was they would never go to the same place twice. And that's almost the opposite of what I do. So I go to like one place with like 1,000 routes or something like that, and so I see like hundreds of routes I want to do, and then I keep going back until I've done all the ones, because like you do one and you're like, oh, that one was amazing right there, and you try it and then you can't do it, so you come back the next time. So that's the other reason I end up here, because I have so many projects everywhere.
I think you're content.
I don't know actually. I think that's been a big problem for me, is actually finding contentment. I'm content in certain aspects, and I really struggle with others. Like, I do get obsessed with completing projects, and I do struggle not to let them really take over my life for periods.
But they do.
But they do, and at times it can be a source of like really great happiness, and at times it can be exasperating.
Dave's reached the hardest moves on this climb. The crux is an intimidating piece of rock that he must work his way over. This overhang is blocking progress.
Okay, Tim, gonna go for it, man.
Good luck, mate. Go on, Dave.
Watch me!
Good effort, good effort. Go on, Dave.
Oh, I feel like the wind's gonna blow me off.
Put it on red, mate.
Pretty pumped.
Go on, mate. Go on, Dave.
Okay, watch me, mate.
Nice. Go on, Dave. Go on. Nice. Good skills.
My hands are so cold, you've got to hang on so much harder, and you end up using all your energy up when normally you'd probably be okay. So I was quite nervous, like above the roof I was just running out of strength. It's wild, like you had to have both hands on the whole time, otherwise you feel like you were getting blown out of balance. Okay, one more move and then hopefully I'm there.
Success for Dave on the sea cliffs of North Bernera. This route may have been short, but it was brutal, made much worse by the elements, the wind, the waves and the cold.
Ah, yes.
4 down, 1 to go. Come on.
I can't believe it. And hopefully we've got enough time to get to the boat, and hopefully this wind will go down. Because if the wind goes down, then we get a chance to go to St Kilda to finish this off. And for me, that's going to be the big thing. That's going to be amazing if we can do that. So I'm really, really psyched now.
When I'm deprived of climbing for an extended spell, or even a not very extended spell, then I get very restless, like really, really restless.
It's a form of frustration, is it?
Yeah, I suppose it is. It's just, well, withdrawal, it's more, in a physical and mental sense. Like I find that if I don't climb for 2 days, like I'll be standing and I'll start climbing skirting boards and walls and things like that. It's like a physical need because I've done it almost every day of my life for 17 years. So it becomes like, it's a routine. It's like if you walk every day and you suddenly stop doing that, it's really hard. And say if you live in the country and then you go to living in a city, then you miss the open spaces. It's exactly the same thing for me with climbing.
And yet you've said that you feel almost depressed when you've actually finished the project.
Yeah, because you're like, I was really enjoying it, and then I've completed it. So most of the time they're too dangerous for you to do. It would be boring to do the same climb again. So you just have to find another one. But I feel contented in that continual process of like learning about your climbing and moving from one really nice, really interesting climb to another. That's great. Why would I want anything different?
Now it's Tim's turn to head up the rock face, and he'll want to move fast to ensure they can make the long sea journey over to St Kilda in time for the finale of the 555 challenge. But first, he needs to get the circulation going.
Wow, that's really wet.
When I was going up to that the whole time, I was just like, got to get this done. I've got to get it done fast. It feels like this has been the crux of the week so far. I'm totally psyched now. I think we've got a chance.
Wild, man. Totally wild.
This is the type of climbing Tim loves best, where he's battling with extreme conditions and living on the edge. Away from the rock face, there's another Tim, the married man who's thinking about starting a family. So, how does he balance these two parts of his life?
I love my wife and I get an enormous amount of fulfillment from her. But doing all these activities I do is something that's really built into my psyche and my persona. And it fuels my energy to be this, person that can't sit still and, runs around looking a little bit crazy.
Tell me how you met your wife. Mills and Boone hasn't got this one yet.
Yeah, well...
It's more James Bond.
I met Katie in Thailand, and she was... it was such a beautiful day. She was sitting on the beach underneath a 400-foot cliff that I was base jumping most evenings. And she was sitting there on the beach with a cocktail, watching the sun go down, and I was up on the top. And I just love being up there. It's the best view ever. It's a really fun climb going up the side, and you get there and you've got a bit of a dry mouth because it's really hot, and you know that you're going to be down in the bar in about 1 minute with a cold beer in your hand. And you get to see a beautiful sunset of all the islands and everything like that. It's really fun too. So
you're jumping off this?
I basically jumped off this cliff with my parachute, pulled my parachute, slowed down, landed on the beach next to Katie. And Katie was, she was part of the organisation of the Whistler Film Festival. She came up to me and she's like, wow, I bet you've got some really cool videos. You should, send them in to me at the Whistler Film Festival and we'll see if we can get them into the film festival. And yeah, that's how we met.
That has to be one of the coolest entrances I've ever heard of.
Well, it's funny because if you ask Katie, if people say, well, how did you meet Tim? She says, well, he fell out of the sky and landed next to me.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, it's quite mad really, isn't it, when you think of it like that?
No, I think it's kind of gorgeous.
Away from the beaches and sunsets of Thailand and back to the wild sea cliffs of North Bernera.
Yeah.
Tim's reached the crux moves, that difficult overhanging piece of rock he has to pull himself over. It's time to get moving again, and Tim's impressed by both this route and the experience of Scottish climbing.
All right, Dave.
Okay, man, go for it.
In England, there's a lot of people, and people have been climbing for a long time, and as a result, most of the cliffs of all the routes, or the possible routes, have already been done. The great thing about Scotland is that there's this huge expanse of undiscovered rock that's in these faraway places that people just don't know about, apart from Dave. You'd have to do this challenge in Scotland because you just wouldn't be able to do it in England or Wales, I don't think.
Bit slack, mate. Thanks. Bit more. Bit slack.
I've wanted to go to the Outer Hebrides for years. I love going to places I've not been to before. I think everyone does. It's just great, isn't it? Not knowing what's around the next corner.
Right now, that's literally true. Tim is struggling.
Bit slack, Dave. Thanks, mate.
He doesn't need reminding that the clock is ticking, and he needs to get this route in the bag if they're to make it over to St Kilda.
Okay, man, go for it.
That's just rubbish. A bit slack, Dave. Thanks, mate. Right, what are you going to do, mate? You need to do something. Cheeky.
Finally, Tim's successful on the crux moves. Now it's just a short distance to the top.
What a wild position. Nice one, Dave.
Yeah, cheers. There's a wee thin move above the roof, eh? Small
Yeah,
hole.
it's pretty cheeky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
good effort,
similar
man.
to the pull over the roof yesterday as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this really sharp little
Sharp with your
fierce
left hand.
knife edge, with your left hand.
And you really locked down.
I ended up, I did it the other way around. I wasn't happy about hanging that.
Yeah.
So I went up to the better hole below it with my left.
Right.
And then that enabled us to move up a little bit.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, good one.
Cool.
Numero
exciting.
4. Bien.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more. Yeah, we could manage to do this, man.
I know.
It's possible. We just have to get back to the boat in time and see what they reckon to the forecast.
Yeah.
If it's good enough to go out there. And if it is, then I'm sure we can find a route that we can do. Yeah. And
Brilliant.
It'll be just as pressured as today. Like we'll have to get there and make everything happen just really fast, and we have to pick the right route first time.
Yeah.
But as long as we do that, then we could do it.
4 down, 1 to go.
Back at the boat, there's a final problem. Brian Hall, the man in charge of safety, has lost his glasses. They slipped out of their holder and are now at the bottom of the harbour. Finding them is a challenge Tim cannot resist.
Oh, look at that.
Is that there, mate?
That's them, mate.
Awesome. There you go.
All equipment's now on board, including glasses. So, improbable as it seemed at the start of the week, it's now onward to the final climb. And what a climax it should be.
We're just about to leave to head off to St Kilda. We've got 7 hours to get there. It's going to be quite a rough crossing. There's about 4-6 southwesterly breeze. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on a tour around the boat and give you a bit of an insight of where we've been staying for the last few days. Come with me. Welcome to our dining room and office. As you can see, all the working crew there. We've got a water machine, we've got a little telly, we've got all our batteries for the cameras and all that sort of thing. They're all being charged down there. And this is where we have our dinner, breakfast. You know, it's pretty cool, huh? It's nice view, windows on all sides. Very nice. So this is down to the bedrooms. Quite steep stairs. We've got a couple of handles on the side. Come on. So this is where everyone sleeps. There's enough room on this boat for 12 people, which is quite a lot. Each of the rooms have got bunk beds, apart from ours. Come and have a look. Check this out. It's a great little pad, love it. We've got storage places for your climbing gear down below, little reading lights. Just what you need. I mean, what more do you want? Much prefer to stay in here than in a tent, especially at this time of year, because it gets light at 4:30 in the morning, so in here you can get to sleep in a bit more. It's great. It feels like we're about to go on a big adventure.
We just left for St Kilda. We've been going about half an hour, and well, it feels fine at the moment. I mean, we're kind of going up and down a wee bit, but it's all right. Maybe it's just because I'm taking a pill, so I feel fine. Oh man, I've been wanting to go to St Kilda for like 10-15 years. I remember reading an article about it 15 years ago, and just like it looks like the most adventurous place to go and visit, so well excited to be going there. And with a good forecast as well, so I've got to say I'm really hopeful that tomorrow we're going to actually be able to climb something, and if we do, it'll just be spectacular. Like, it would be amazing if I was just coming here for just this one route on St Kilda, but as a finish to what we've just done this week, couldn't get better really.
The team, climbers, safety crew, cameramen and producer set off in high spirits. Then reality sinks in. This will be a crossing everyone will remember, but perhaps not for the best reasons.